Hi, I'm Handy Matt, and this is my caravan. It's a Jayco Starcraft Outback, and today I'm going to install and hook up a Sirocco fan. We did one a couple of days ago, and I'm going to do another one today, and I'm going to show you how to install it and how to connect it. Okay, so this is the Sirocco fan that we've already installed, and they're a great little unit, very easy to use. Very quiet and work really well, and we hooked that up through the back here and connected it to the existing light, and we're going to do the same thing in the back corner of the caravan now. The tools that I'm going to be using for the job, I've got here a little terminal kit because I'm going to be using one of these male terminals to hook up to the and connect to the existing lights. A little socket set for the tightening the nuts up, a drill and a 6mm drill to run the wires through, and a little pilot drill for the screws. I'm going to be using 25mm 6-gauge screws. You'll need a little small screwdriver, a Phillips, to be able to get inside the cabinet and do some work, plus a larger one underneath to tighten up the fan, and a crimping tool. Over here we've got the Sirocco fan in the box, and I'm just going to take that out and set it up for you. So this is our great little Sirocco fan that we've just taken out of the box. So you have the fan, a backing plate that sits on the back there, that gets secured to the caravan. It comes with the connecting wires, and I'll show you how that all works, and some screws here, some nuts and bolts to connect the backing plate to the fan. And we'll also use those 25mm screws to screw the backing plate underneath in the location that we want to use. So this is the location here. We're going to put it in the corner of our van, and it'll provide some nice air in our sitting area. Now here is where the connection is made, and I'll just get the little screwdriver and remove the screw and show you where I'm going to hook it up to, because we've got a light here. And you can see that light works off the 12-volt system. So we're going to just take this cover off, and then I can show you where we make the connection on this particular caravan. Every caravan is going to be different, but for this one, Jayco have already got female plugs here on the light, the power to the light, and all I've got to do is get a male terminal and hook that into there with the wires on the other end, and the connection will be made. So now we're going to find the best position to place the fan, and you just need to make sure that it doesn't make any contact with anything. So we've got a spot here underneath that we found. It's really good. It means that the fan can turn in any direction without making contact with the blinds or the side there. So what I'm going to do now is get the backing plate, mark the holes, and start securing the backing plate. This is the backing plate, and I'm going to mark the holes there. So there'll be 6 screws that hold it in place. So you've got 3 on the top, 3 on the bottom, and you can probably see these 2 holes. That's where the wiring will go through that. So let's go and mark those, and then I'll show you how we're going to secure it. So we marked the holes, and I'm just going to run a pilot drill through the bottom of the cabinet here, so that the screws can bite in, and also the hole that I'm going to make here for the wiring to go through and connect to the light switch. Oops, So I'm about to put the backing plate, or fit the backing plate here underneath the cupboard, so that we can mount the fan. But very importantly, before you mount that, these little nuts that come in the packet, we need to put those and fit those into the back of the backing plate, because there are going to be little securing bolts that go through the front to hold that fan in place after it's locked in. And the other thing that's important is to make sure the screws that you're using aren't too long and protrude into the cabinet itself. So make sure that the screws are the right length, and just check that. Okay, so now we've got the backing plate securely mounted underneath the cabinet, and what I'm going to do now is we're going to connect the wiring here to the fan. There's a positive and negative here, and the wiring shows you the little dotted lines on there. That's the negative one, and there's the positive one. It's actually marked on the other end. There's a little tag with a plus sign there. So we're going to fit this to the bottom of the fan using these little securing washers and nuts. Tighten that onto there like that, and then feed that wiring through the hole inside there. Stop. So I'm just putting on the last wire here, the negative wire. So we're putting a little washer over that, and then the nut. Do that up, and then use my little socket here just to tighten it. So that's nice and tight. Now we're ready to feed that through underneath. So now I'm just going to bring the fan over. So got the front of the fan facing the right way, and I'm just going to run these two wires through the hole that I've put in here. Feed that through like that, and now just hook that up underneath, so it just lines up with those little holes. A little bit tricky, and it's in position there. So we've got that through. So I'll be attaching the little male terminals to the end of these two wires, and then hooking up the positive to the positive and the negative to the negative. And now I can also put the tightening bolts through there because we've got the nuts underneath there, and that'll just hold it in place. Okay, so we've got the fan now hooked up to the bottom of the cabinet. Put the two securing bolts in there and tighten that up. Now I'm just going to add the male terminals here to the end of the wiring so that we can make our connection to the existing light switch. So I'm just going to fold the wire here in half, and I'm going to slide it into the terminal, and then we're going to use the crimping tool to just hold it in place. Make it nice and tight. Just give that a tug to make sure that it's on there right. Do the same with the other one. Just fold that wire over so it's double the thickness because it's a very thin wire, and want to make sure that it's nice and tight when I crimp that up. So slide that into the end. What's happening here? Must be a bit of a knot in the wire, just not sliding into the hole. So get that to go in. That's it. And now we crimp it nice and tight. Check that it's not going to come off. Alright, so now before we connect it, we're going to disconnect the battery. So if you could just come over here. On our van, we've got a switch here, the battery switch. So we're just going to turn that off. So there's no power there. And now we're going to make sure that we've got, that one is the positive one. So normally red's positive. So what I'll do for the negative one, I'm just going to put a little bit of black tape on there, just so visually I can tell that that's the negative one. So the positive one, the red, will go into the red. So I'm going to click that into place. The negative one goes into the black wires here to match up. That's in place. So now we go back over here, turn our battery back on, and let's just see now if the fan is working. We'll fix that up in a minute. So we've got the switch here, and we have low power. It's working. How about that? Medium and high. And you just need to move it in any direction that you want to set it up, and then lock that, and it locks it in place. So now I'm going to organise the wiring in under here. So we're going to put this box back, that cover over there. So I'm just going to tidy this wiring up so it all fits underneath the cover. So that cover goes over the top like that. That's it. And I'm just going to then tighten that up. And we've done the job. It's all fixed. Alright, so we're all done now. I've got a bit of duct tape and put the duct tape over the top of the wire there so that it doesn't get caught on anything that you're putting into the cabinet. Put the cover back on, it's nice and neat. And shut that now. We've still got our light working and the fans going, as you can hear. Works a treat, putting air into the place. So that's a little project. Thank you very much for watching, and I'm hoping that I can put a few more together in the future and won't be quite as nervous next time. So thanks very much.